Welcome back to this short series on group development as it relates to helping children have agency in the classroom, collectively and individually. So after we've just reviewed the forming stage where children are getting to know each other, and next comes storming. And this is a hard stage for them. You will start to see them really struggle. And again, it could happen within the first day or two of school, depending on the group. Some of them already may know each other pretty well from the year before, or it may take a couple of weeks for them or longer for them to get into this. But this is where you start to see the relationships under strain a little bit as children are encountering problems, whether that's just deciding, what role someone is going to play in a group play scenario in Forest School, or whether or not they're going to let someone join their group and all their feelings about that. They also, in the classroom, there may be some storming as far as boundaries and all those things that children fight and struggle with. You'll start seeing a lot more of that as they're beginning to kind of make this classroom their own, and they're not always happy about it. So during this time, the teacher is going to pull in a little bit closer and make sure, proverbially, and make sure that these children are safe and they don't feel like it's a free-for-all, because it's not. We maintain a certain amount of those early rules that we set up, and we may need to add to that a little bit. And as far as how we communicate and what good listening looks like, and we start teaching some of those things so that they are in a place that's safe. And we're also very empathic through all this. And we kind of normalize the idea that sometimes we struggle and sometimes we have disagreements and difference of opinion, and that's okay. And so we're both normalizing it and also keeping them very safe. But we let them struggle a little bit, or a lot, perhaps. Caught in a vine here. But anyway, so at some point in that struggle, and this may last a few days, it may last a week or two or a month, I don't know, depending on how long it takes them to get to that point where you see that you think they might be ready for a little more intervention. When they've struggled long enough that there is a certain amount of frustration. Obviously, we don't want to let it go too long, but when they are have really worked on it and they seem to be a little bit at loose ends as far as how to proceed, that's when we move into norming. And we've helped them through the storming to keeping everybody safe. But when they're ready to start making norms, and you might see them start to try to make some rules. Well, how about, when you do this, then I'll do this. And you'll start to see some of that too, as well as the frustration. And that's when we step in and help them move smoothly into that norming phase. Because the norming is where they're going to set up, and you're going to help them set up rules about how they want to have their class. I mean, it's not just rules, it's a lot of other things. So anyway, the storming phase isn't easy, but they do typically get through it pretty quickly. And your indications that they're ready for norming is that, first of all, they'll be frustrated more than once. In a general sense, they'll be frustrated a little bit. And two, they'll start to try to sort some things out for themselves, and they may get frustrated with that too. And that's typically your sign, hey, they're ready for norming, and I'm going to help them with it. That's for our next video. See you there.